I'm at Old School Knife Works in Otto, North Carolina. Been in here a couple of times. I know they have a lot of knife making stuff and a lot of knives. Just wanted to show you kind of the entrance. This was the old schoolhouse. That's how they got their name. I was over at Old School Knife Works in Otto, North Carolina a few weeks ago, and I picked up a new little bird and trout knife. I've been wanting to get me a smaller knife for a while, a little bird and trout knife style knife for cleaning fish, cutting into birds and stuff, even chickens, if you just kill chickens, on the farm or whatever. And I think for gutting deer and stuff, it's a good size. And caping, of course, if you do any kind of caping. So it's the Benchmade Flyway. Now the steel I have on this knife is S90V steel. S90V, toughness wise, is about the same as 440C, LMAX, 154 cm, and S30V. Now S30V and LMAX are ranking 4 out of 10, and 440, 154 cm, and S90V are ranking 3.5. But I figured that's still about the same range of toughness. So it's tough enough. It's tough as a lot of knives you get, especially in this size. You're not going to be doing bushcrafting or anything with this size knife. At least you probably wouldn't. So I'm going by the ranking on Knife Steel Nerds with Larry Thomas. He made out all them charts with toughness, edge retention, and corrosion resistance. So you could compare steels with other steels with the same testing. So, like I said, 440C, LMAX, S30V, and 154CM are all about the same toughness. They're all about the same corrosion resistance as this one. LMAX is an 8 out of 10. The others are 7.5 out of 10, except 154CM is 7 out of 10. So, right around the same corrosion resistance. But S90V, even though it's got roughly the same toughness and corrosion resistance of them steels, its edge retention is way up there. It's got a 9 on the edge retention out of 10. Very high edge retention. Whereas the others have around 4.5 to 5, except S30V does hit 6. So this is a very high improvement in edge retention with the same toughness and corrosion resistance of them normal steels that you'd have out there. So that may mean that it's harder to sharpen. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but I do have some access to diamond stuff, and I can sharpen S30V easy enough. So I think it'll be all right. If I have to buy some diamond sharpening stuff and all that, I guess I'll get it. So anyway, the knife here. Got a boulder-on sheath. Good retention. Got a little hole drilled right there in the sheath to let water drain out. Now, boulder-on, from what I read, is supposed to be just a little better than Kydex as far as the temperature sensitivity. Kydex is a little bit sensitive to cold temperatures and stuff, and it can get brittle, but this boulder-on is supposed to be a little more durable. So you can take that for what it's worth. I'm not an expert on either one of them. G10 handles, they're in an OD green shade. I like that. I picked the knife with the OD green. It was the S90V knife. They do have orange handle ones. Whether or not they're S90V, I don't know, but there may have been another still. So this is 59 to 61 hardness. So let's say 60, just round it into the middle there. So about 60 on the hardness. Blade 2.7 inches long, just perfect for me to get, easy to get my finger on the end. I can get my finger on the end of a 3.5, whatever inch blade too, depending on how I do. But this one is very easy. Good sharp point, plenty of belly, thin blade. And the handle is a good shape. Thin on top, kind of bulging out here, and a little bit thinner back here. It's about a little bit of a Coke bottle shaped handle, I'd say. And that way too, you got that palm swell, and this back here for retention back on the back fingers there. Lanyard hole in there. So overall, I think, like I said, really good for cleaning fish, cleaning birds, but I think really good for gutting stuff when you're not trying to quarter an animal in the woods or something. You're just dressing it out to take it out of the woods or to hang it up, and you'd take your bigger knives and to cut it up later on. But I think this would shine at gutting a deer or anything like that, a hog or something like that, because you can get your finger up there easy on the end. You don't need a blade bigger than that. It should cut like a scalpel. It's so thin. Hold the edge real good. And when you're getting up in that chest cavity, getting around in there, you don't have a long blade hitting stuff or hitting yourself. So I think it's really going to shine at that type of stuff too. 2.1 ounces. Supposed to be hand assembled and hand sharpened, made in the USA. Okay, so some of the stuff I did like about the knife, I've showed you that, but I want to show you a few things that I would change if I was designing this knife. Now, this is small things. It's not big gripes, but I'm reviewing the knife, so I'll show you a couple of things I would do different if I was designing this knife. First off, this sheath. I don't have really a problem with the sheath itself, how it's made or how it works, but I don't like that color. Now, that color's for visibility in the woods and stuff, but if you're choosing the OD green handled knife, are you worried that much about visibility, or wouldn't you just get an orange handled knife? They sell orange handled knives like this. So I don't really like that color of a sheath because I think it just contrasts with that, and I'd rather have either just a black sheath or this same color if they had it, that OD green on the sheath. Again, that's a small thing, but the thing is, if you knife's out there and you drop it, well, you got a green handle, and this is going to be on your belt or wherever, so you're probably not going to find it anyway. Now, I'm not worried about losing the sheath because it'll be strapped to me. Okay, on the knife itself, the first thing I'll point out is, I don't think you can see it on video, but they wrote their website down there. The Benchmade website is on the blade, printed on the blade under the S90V label. Now, I'm fine with the S90V label because you want to know what steel this is. I'm fine with their emblem on this side. Everybody's always going to have their emblem on a knife. But in my opinion, that's all the advertising you need. And I think it's not classy to have a QR code or a website or something printed right on the product. That's not class when you're talking about a knife and fit and finish and everything. Now, I don't like that. Now, jimping right here, that's for your finger to go right there, but I think you don't need it. I don't care for jimping. It's a little bit gimmicky on this right here. I don't see why you'd need some jimping there. Your finger can rest on that blade just fine. I've had knives for years and years that had smooth backs. Your finger stays right on there. The handle's designed good. You don't need that jimping. The washers around those bolts are some kind of orange looking color. Now, I know that's probably for visibility, maybe the same as this orange sheath, maybe the same concept, but I don't see the need to have those gaudy washers around there. I just don't like the look of that against that green handle. It should have just been black just to blend in, because like I said, I mean, you're probably not going to see them little orange things if you drop this in the woods. Maybe you would, but anyway, if you're worried about dropping your knife in the woods and you can't find it, just get the orange handled knives. Now, the last thing, and the most baffling to me of why they did it, because I don't see any reason for this whatsoever. There's some kind of humps on the knife's back right here, on the back of the handle right there. They're smooth. They stick up above the scales right there, but then they go below the scales right there in the middle. Now, I don't know if they thought that would give you some texture or some grip, but it don't. It don't do anything. What it will do, my prediction is, get fat, dirt, grime, fish slime down in a recess right there that can't just be wiped and washed off real easy. I don't see any reason for that right there. I don't know who designed it like that or why they thought that would be a good thing to have, but I don't really like that. I wish it was just smooth across the back. So it sounds like I'm griping about the knife. I'm really not. I think it's a good design. I like it. I would change those design features if I was making a knife like this. But overall, I think it's going to be a good knife. It's going to excel at what it needs to, and I bet that's going to hold the edge for a long time. Now, this is the first thing I've done with this knife at all. I've never cut a thing with it, not even a piece of paper. I just wanted to see, you know, I do this a lot on mine, how it would do on this, because for the fine work and dexterity, and it's doing good. That little thin blade is doing really good at peeling this apple. I was worried that the handle wouldn't be big enough and wouldn't have control, but yeah, once you lock it into your fingers right up here, right in that area, it locks in good. You can do this easy with it. Like I said, this is the first thing I've ever done with this knife, just trying it out right here on video. Now, I can already tell that it's going to cut apples really good, but I don't think I would get this for an apple peeling knife. The handle's a little bit small. I'd want a little bit bigger handle if I was going to be just peeling apples over and over and over, like I had a whole bunch of apples I was peeling. But yeah, it really does it. Cuts them good, slices like a laser with that little thin blade, good and sharp. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I may be judging prematurely, but like I say, I think I'd want a little bit bigger handle if I was going to make applesauce or something and cut up a whole bunch of apples. But it sure does it, and it slices good. I'll try this orange here, see how we do on it. Yeah, it just goes right through stuff up there again. As thin as it is, you know it'd be slicey. There's no doubt about that. And I'm looking to get real good edge retention out of it. That's one of the main reasons I want to try S90V, is just go with a high edge retention still. Just see. This ain't the thing I'm going to be doing with this knife all the time, like I said, but I just thought I'd try it and see how it sliced, and it's going to do good.